podcast by Simon Javanokelo, live from Seattle, Washington, USA.
Thank you so much for joining me for the Daily African Proverbs. We are currently live on Clubhouse, and we are also live streaming on YouTube. My YouTube channel is Simon Javanokelo, and I'm really excited. Today we have a special guest from Nairobi, Kenya. We are joined here by my brother Easy MB, and if you're meeting Easy for the first time, Easy is just a gifted artist. He says that art is an extension of his life, and he's passionate, and he feels that this is what he says, to be exact. He believes that his passion to create is built into his DNA, and the art is not simply defined by the finished product, but the process one pours into the very act of creating. He also says that it is an explosion of self-expression poured out in the unending process of living. Creating is as natural as breathing. Wow. We are going to learn a lot more about Easy B, but he's been a consistent attendee of the Daily African Proverbs, and that's part of why I invited him to join me on YouTube. If you want to be introduced to Easy B face to face, if you want to see him directly, he's live with me on YouTube, and we are going to be listening to his interpretation of today's proverb. But I also want you to learn a little bit about Easy B. Just learn about his story, and learn about his work, and also learn about some of the things that he cares about. But really, I want to welcome you all to the African Father in America Club on Clubhouse. We do the Daily African Proverbs every single day, and in the recent weeks, I have been inviting guests to join me for this important conversation. And today we are really privileged to have Easy B. And so the proverb we have is from Nigeria. And I'm going to invite Easy B to share with us his interpretation of the proverb in a moment. But this proverb is also my pinned tweet. It says, "Two rams cannot drink from the same bucket at the same time." Two rams cannot drink from the same bucket at the same time. So, Easy MB, share with me your thoughts about this proverb. What does it mean to you?
Thank you so much, Simon. Again, it's always a great pleasure just to be part of these conversations and talking about, African proverbs and dissecting them and just sharing ideas on what they mean to us. So when I saw this proverb, the first thing that came into my mind is there's a Swahili proverb, and I'm going to interpret it to English for our brothers and sisters who might not understand Swahili. So there's a Swahili proverb that says, fahali wawili hawawezi kuishi kwa zizi moja. Okay? And the direct translation to English of that proverb is that two bulls cannot live in the same shed, two bulls cannot live in the same shed. Fahali wawili hawawezi kuishi kwa zizi moja. That's it's the first thing that came into my mind when I saw this proverb saying two rams cannot drink from the same bucket at the same time. And I think it also reminded me of a time when I was younger, just before I moved out of my parents' house and started, just experiencing life alone. I remember one of the things that prompted me to move out of my parents' house was that we were at loggerheads with my father most of the time, probably because maybe for him at that time he felt like I was too comfortable and it was time for me to now just go out there and meet life and start experiencing life on my own. And I remember my mom, sharing this Swahili proverb with me, that two bulls cannot live in the same shed. So, meaning that I guess I had grown to a place and a level where I was feeling like a bull compared to my dad, and perhaps it was the reason why my mom shared that proverb with me was to let me know that one party has to be able to calm down in terms of like be humbled than the other. And the thing that she was passing to me was that definitely my father was not going to be the one to take off his hat. So I being the child, I had to be ready to take off the hat. Yeah. So when I look at this proverb, it's the same meaning and the same connotation that I bring to it, that perhaps in a space where there are decisions that need to be made, then there has to be, whether it's two people or it's more people, there has to be some level of humility that is exercised to understand that someone has to offer leadership at the end of the day. We can't have two leaders both wanting to do the same thing at the same time. One person has to offer leadership to the rest of the flock. So yeah, so that's my uh, brief interpretation to it. Thank you.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, I agree. I agree with the Swahili proverb that you shared with us. And also, I love how you shared that we can't have two leaders doing the same thing at the same time. There has to be one leader supporting the other leader. And I love how you shared the story of your dad. I think as as parents, it's very, very hard for us to do that. And I feel like he was also challenging you. He was trying to see, did I do my part?
Yeah, true.
Yeah. But tell us what happened later on. Did you ever have a chance to connect with your dad after this situation where you were at loggerheads with him? Do you want to share with us an exciting story between you and him? Maybe once he realized that you are a real warrior as well.
Oh, Simon. Yeah, of course. I mean, so growing up, because I'm born in a family of four, and I'm the only boy stroke man. I have sisters. So growing up, I was, my father, like put it in me when I was very young, that he had very high expectations, of me. And he put it very clearly when I was young that when he is not present at home, it's like I'm the next in command to take care of my mom and my sisters. So that was put in me when I was a very young boy. I think probably when I was like about 9 or 8 years old. And so he always had expectations of me. And so growing up, I had a lot of pressure. And so I really didn't have like a good relationship per se with my father because of that. And but of course later on I looked at it and I couldn't blame him, because I was like, he did what he knew best. He raised me up as he wanted me to be a responsible man, a focused man, and for him, he did what he best knew at that time. Yeah. So of course, yeah. Later on, uh, we were able to connect and reconnect. But this is a story of like maybe more than 10 years ago. So today, my dad, like we are friends. We are good friends, and we talk, and even we've even talked and had a chat about this particular story, and even laughed over it. So yeah, we are now good friends.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think difficult situations make best friends. If your friendship is just about the nice things and the nice times, when challenges come, they break that friendship, whether it's your friendship with your father or your mother. So it's wonderful. But now, still talking about your story now. Let's go back to your childhood. Because you're an artist. I want you to take us back to a time when you were maybe 8, 12, when you felt that, I am now an artist, when it occurred to you that this is how you will be, impacting people's lives around the world.
So I always give a story of, so I have two like stories that I always give when I'm giving a story about my artistic journey. One is the fact that, so my mom says that I started drawing when I was 5.
Hey, easy.
Yes.
This is Simon. There is feedback when you talk, so I want us to try and use Clubhouse instead of YouTube for you to talk. Can you do that?
Okay. Yeah.
So try that now. Just try and unmute yourself on Clubhouse. Let's see if that works.
Okay, just give me a minute. Okay. Am I better now? Is it better now?
Yes. I like it.
It's better. Okay. Yeah, so I was saying that my mom says that I started drawing when I was 5. I don't remember that. The earliest I remember drawing anything was like when I was about 9, 10 years old, and that was a portrait of my father. But I don't think I really envisioned myself as an artist per se at that time. It's just that I found myself that I had this artistic talent, that I could draw, I could paint so well with ease, but it had not, like I hadn't made up my mind at that time that I'm going to be an artist. Until when I was 14 and I was clearing high school, primary school, and when I went to high school, I think that's when it occurred to me that whatever happens, I'm somehow going to be an artist. I don't know what kind of an artist, but I know I was going to be an artist somehow. At that time, I was getting really inspired by guys like, there's a gentleman called KJ, who used to do caricatures on the newspaper at that time. Now he's a member of parliament. He was one of the guys who really used to inspire me. So I went to high school. I took a drawing subject. I did drawing and design in high school. And then from there, of course, now I went over to college to do to take a course in graphic design. But still at that time, I was still at a place where I'm trying to figure things out and find out like what kind of an artist can I be? I had not even known that there are different forms of visual arts, for instance. So these are things that I kept on discovering as I went by. So I would say my high school life was the time that I knew, or rather it was rubber stamped to me that somehow I'm going to be an artist. I don't know what kind of an artist I'm going to be. Maybe I'm going to be a cartoonist, maybe a designer, whatever, but I knew definitely that my life was going to revolve around art when I was in high school.
Man, saying that, hearing you say that reminds me so much about high school in Kenya, and some high schools in Kenya were like military barracks. You are trained there to become the best you can be, and if you are part of even the arts club, you're forced to grow as an artist in some schools.
Absolutely.
So I want you to talk about some of the pieces that you've worked on and the impact that they've had, globally. Just talk about some of your past pieces, either your favorite or the impact of one of your pieces, so that everyone who is joining us on Clubhouse can learn a little bit about you through your art. But also quickly, if you're joining us on Clubhouse, thank you so much. I just want to give a shout out to everyone in the room. I see MK, Ben, Frida, Walter, Happily, Joseph, Noga, Roger, my brother Digital, and Easy. Thank you so much for being here. Please ping in 1 or 2 people if you're on Clubhouse. And if you're on YouTube, please leave your comments so that we can learn what your interpretation of today's proverb is. The proverb says, 2 rams cannot drink from the same bucket at the same time. And we've listened to Easy's interpretation of this proverb. We are listening to his story now, and we want to invite you all to join us on stage in 15 minutes. We are going to turn off hand raising, and then we are going to hear the interpretations and thoughts from everyone on stage. We are live tweeting today's conversation, so please follow Digital Humanitarian. My brother Philip is live tweeting today's conversation, and I'm also live tweeting. We're using the hashtag Daily African Proverbs. And after this conversation, Philip and I are going to host a Twitter space just to recap this conversation at 7:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's 5:30 p.m. Kenya time. Philip is joining us from Nairobi. Thank you so much. Easy B, please carry on.
Yeah, so just yesterday I was having this conversation with someone, and they asked me the same question, like, what's your favorite piece? And I was trying to tell them the way it's very difficult for me to identify a particular piece that I would say it's favorite, because every piece of art that I have created has had a different kind of impact. It was meant for a specific purpose. And so I would say, for me, the idea is that every piece that I create, whether it's a piece of work that I'm trying to communicate something specific to a specific audience for, or it's client work where I have been hired to interpret a client brief. The idea for me is that at the end of the day, that piece is able to communicate what it's intended to communicate, or it's able to accomplish its purpose. So I do a lot of client work, but then my favorite work, if I'm to talk of favorite, has always been what I would call personal projects and some collaborative projects. And maybe I can talk of one collaborative project which I'm actually in the process of just finishing it right now. And this is a project I'm doing with a friend of mine called Von Wong. He's a photographer, and he's a photographer who is very centered and passionate about the environment. And so most of his work is centered towards speaking about the importance of humans correlating well with the environment. So we are currently we've been working on a project that is towards that, but this particular project is sensitizing people against, or rather on the importance of doing away with plastics. Yeah. So the idea is to show people like the negative influence that plastics have on our environment, on our marine life, on our animals, and even on our own lives. And so these are the kind of projects that make me happy. These are the kind of projects that make me really look forward to waking up in the morning and feeling like I am doing my part as far as making this world a better place. I do a lot of pieces that speak about justice and injustices. I come from a country, and you can relate, Simon. We come from a country where we have complained for the longest time about our leadership. And it's like as time goes by, it's like the only change that is happening is for the worse and not for the better. And so for me, these are some of the things that make me, first of all, really appreciate that I'm an artist. Because I realize that art is like one of the most powerful tools in the world. Art can change a conversation. It can change people's mindsets. So I said, I may not be able to take a placard and go on the street and shout like any other person or any other activist. But I have a powerful tool with me in my hands. And that's my artistic gift. I can use that to make a conversation happen and ensure that conversation leads to something better happening as far as making the world a better place. So if I'm to talk of pieces that I've done that are my favorite, and again, I don't want to like specify because again I have done a lot. I mean, people can go to my social media handles on my Instagram and see the kind of work that I do. But the idea is that for me, I believe that I have a responsibility as an artist to make this world a better place. I have a responsibility to ensure that I'm like whatever it is that I'm doing with my work every day, that tomorrow the people who come after me have a better world to live in, have an easier and a more affordable world to live in. And I may not be able to do much, but I have again this tool that is very powerful. So that's what I use to speak. So my favorite times and my favorite work is the stuff that gets to have people to think differently as far as this world is concerned.
Yeah, thank you. You said it very simply at the end. Your favorite pieces are the ones that allow you to help people to think differently. Yeah, I love that. And I want to welcome everyone to the Daily African Proverbs. My name is Simon Javan Okelo, and I have a special guest with me today, Easy MB. My goal is to have more guests in our conversation. So for the first 30 minutes, we will be hearing the story of whoever our guest is, and then the last 30 minutes we'll be listening to interpretations from everyone on stage. In 8 minutes, I will be turning off hand raising. So this is a good time for you to join us on stage if you'd like. And also, if you want to be a guest and join me on YouTube, because we're actually live streaming this conversation on YouTube, and Easy MB and myself are live over there. Thank you to everyone who is currently on YouTube with us. Please drop us a comment with your interpretation of today's proverb and also your thoughts about everything that Easy MB is sharing with us. Easy MB, I want to engage you in a different conversation because Boniface Mwangi has worked with so many artists in Kenya, and I feel that sometimes art can be so powerful that you become a threat to the status quo, And so recently, Boniface is someone I have so much love and respect for, and recently his house that was still under construction was bombarded by unknown people, but everybody seems to already know who those unknown people are. I wanted you to speak about, as an artist, do you feel safe in Kenya? Because your work can speak too loudly and you could be in a situation. We know that many artists have actually disappeared, in Kenya. This is not new, but what happened to Boniface last week was really, really shocking. Could you speak to that a bit and just speak about, are you really free to express yourself fully in the world right now as an artist?
Wow. So I'd say free, first of all, being free, or rather feeling free to express yourself as an artist. in Kenya and in the world in general, I look at the term free as very relative. Okay. We would really have to have a very long conversation to define what free really means, because then you realize what we talk when we talk about the blanket meaning of freedom, then it ends up being dissected to smaller meanings depending on your circumstances, where you come from, your experiences. So then you find freely is really very relative. So in my case, I think when we were having our brief conversation yesterday, I told you that's why one of the things is I'm pretty personally I'm pretty anonymous as far as people know my work more than they know me. I keep the me just for the family and maybe just one or two, three people who are close to me. But then I'm very anonymous. There are so many people who will come across my work, but then they wouldn't really know it's me who created that work. And that has always been very intentional for me, because the truth and the idea is that I'm trying to also protect myself, but not just myself, but also my children, my family, my wife, so that at the end of the day, I'm not found to be at a place where it's either I'm a target. If I am a target, then definitely the people who are closest to me are going to be a target. It's unfortunate that we talk about freedom of expression, but then you end up realizing that there is really no freedom of expression, because when people express themselves, then when things like what happened to Boniface Mwangi happens, then you realize that there's really no freedom of expression. It's very relative. It's tagged towards you have the freedom of expression as long as it does not affect me. You get? But as long as you are expressing your expression ends up targeting me, then you're going to have a problem. So it's unfortunate, but the thing is that someone has to pay the price at the end of the day. For Kenya to gain independence, if I'm to talk of Kenya, because that's where I come from, some people had to lose their lives, some people had to lose the important things in their lives for us to get independence. And again, even when I talk of independence in this manner, I put it in quotes, because when I look at what we had before the colonialists and what we have now, I feel like the difference is just that term independence has been changed from white to black. And so it's like now you have the black man colonizing a fellow black man. It's basically the same thing, because there's very little that has changed for the better. So it's unfortunate that the freedom is not there. However, someone has to pay the price with the hope that tomorrow at least things are going to be better. People like Boniface Mwangi have really done so much for this country. I know there's so many people who don't agree with what he does. I personally do not agree with some of his ways or his motives of doing things, but I appreciate him as a person for the much that he has done for this country and he's still doing. And I feel like there needs to come to be more people, not just artists, but people of every sector who are able to be to allow themselves to be vulnerable and aggressive enough to be able to talk about some of these things, because then that is how we are going to, at the end of the day, have a country and a continent and a world that is comfortable for all of us to live.
Wow, thank you so much. I'm grateful. Yeah, art is always there, even when there is any fight for liberation. Let's say, for example, with Kenya, art was there. So I really appreciate you sharing with us your story. But now I want you to share with us how people can stay connected with you and and if there's any question I didn't ask you, so that after that we can hear from everyone who has joined us on stage. I want to really welcome everyone to the Daily African Proverbs. That's on Clubhouse. We are also live streaming on YouTube. My YouTube channel is Simon Javan Okello. You can join us live there with Easy MB, who is a Kenyan, Nairobi-based artist who is using his work, to transform the world. And, it's just a privilege to be hosting him this morning. Every day we host the Daily African Proverbs here on Clubhouse and live stream it on YouTube so that we can make our ancestors proud, because African proverbs are a very pivotal part of the African culture. So being here every morning is a way for us to continue protecting and preserving our culture. So we welcome you, and my brother Easy MB, share with us how everyone can stay connected with you, and also know that I want to have you back here. I want to have you back here after we have Boniface. I'm trying to have Boniface here with us, hopefully in the next 1 week. Sure. But also share with us if there's any question I didn't ask you that you want everyone to pay attention to.
Okay. So first of all, you can connect with me for the guys who are following on Clubhouse. When you go to my profile, you see my Twitter and my Instagram links on my profile on Clubhouse. Just tap on my profile on Clubhouse, and my Twitter and my Instagram is there. For the people following us on YouTube, you can find me on Twitter at Imagination. Imagination is spelled as IMAIZZY Nation. IMAIZZY Nation. And on Instagram, it's the same at Imagination. So you can connect with me on those two platforms. That's where I'm pretty active, and I get to share my work mostly on those two platforms. The only thing, I would just maybe like to say, in case anyone has, before everyone else talks, is just that, first of all, this is an honor and such a beautiful privilege to just have this conversation with you, Simon. I've looked forward to this. And again, as I keep saying, I feel like such conversations need to keep happening. We need to have more and more of these kinds of conversations. This needs to continue, because the moment we stop talking, then that's the moment that trouble begins. So we need to keep on having more and more conversations like this, because I feel like when people talk, that's when things happen. That's when things people find solutions. So I just want to say thank you so much for the honors of allowing me to be here with you and have this conversation with you. Yeah.
Man, listen, Easy, I'm also grateful. It's really an honor, and I don't know how you managed to have such a steady connection in Nairobi. A lot of people have interviewed in Nairobi. They change locations like 3 times in the course of the interview. So I really appreciate you preparing well, and I'm serious. I would like to have you again, even if possible, next week, So let's plan for next Monday then. Let's plan for next Monday, and I want you to meet Philip. Philip Ogola is in the audience on Clubhouse. I would love for you to meet him. He's in Nairobi too. We are building something really great in Kenya. So we will be talking more about it, but we are building something great. For sure. I also want to now welcome everyone on stage. I'm going to turn off hand raising. Actually, I want to just create one more opportunity for anyone in the audience who wants to come on stage. This is a good opportunity for you to join us before I turn off hand raising. But we are going to hear everyone's interpretation of today's proverb. We are going to start with Philip, that's digital humanitarian. And then we are going to go to Roger, and then Noga, and then Joseph. I'm actually hoping to host Noga and Joseph as guests, in the next week or so. Cornelia, I'm interested in hosting you as a guest as well. I want us to connect directly beyond Clubhouse. So I want to see your guys' faces on my YouTube channel as soon as possible. So my brother Digital, I want you to share with me what today's proverb means to you. Oh, I think we lost digital here for a moment, so we will go to Roger. Roger, thank you again for your continued support. Roger says that he's the savage Asian, and there's a saying here that he always shares that is always very, very exciting for me to read. He says that as the man of the house, I absolutely always have the last word. Unfortunately, the last word is usually yes, honey. Okay, Roger, share with us your interpretation. The proverb says, two rams cannot drink from the same bucket at the same time. This is a Nigerian proverb.
Thank you, Simon. Hello, everyone. The two rams in this proverb remind me of two strong personalities who are sharing the same space. And unless these two personalities agree on everything, what's to be done, when it is to be done, and how it is to be done, 100% of the time, it's usually a bad idea. There's a saying from China, the land of my ancestors, and it goes something like this. One mountain cannot accommodate two tigers. One mountain cannot accommodate two tigers. The meaning is pretty much the same. One army can only have one general. A nation can only have one emperor. And a team can only have one leader. And that person has to be the final decision maker and be the one responsible for the results of that decision. Anything else leads to confusion within the ranks, split loyalties, and greatly reduced effectiveness. That's all from me. I'm done speaking.
Wow, Roger, thank you so much. I've missed listening to your words of wisdom, and it's true. Everything you shared with us. Two tigers can't live in one mountain. That one is new for me. And then one army can only have one general. That's also new, and I love it. Thank you so much. Again, for those who are meeting Roger for the first time, he's an amazing contributor to the Daily African Proverbs. He's in Singapore, and I always love to hear other proverbs from other parts of the world, and Roger brings that wisdom to this space, and I appreciate that. Now we are going to hear from Noga, who is an amazing... Oh, Philip is here. And by the way, Roger, if you want, you can stay on stage. You don't have to go down to the audience. I know that, the Daily African Proverbs, the way we've run this room traditionally is that after you share, we move you to the audience. But I don't do that anymore. I just keep it warm and cozy with everyone who joins on stage. But at 7:30, I normally turn off hand raising. So at this time, I'm going to do that. Then we're just going to focus the conversation on everyone that is on stage. Now, digital humanitarian, my brother Philip Ugola, share with us what your interpretation is for today's proverb. Now, for those who are meeting Philip is, an award-winning digital humanitarian. He's transformed communities, and is like a fast responder in Kenya that has been awarded by the president for a number of things he does, and is just a good person to connect with. Philip, the proverb that we have is two rams cannot drink from the same bucket at the same time. Share your interpretation briefly, tweet size. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Simon, and I really appreciate the introduction, and good to see people I know here. Good to see you, Jaber. Good to see you, Noga, Joseph, Networker, and Roger. Roger has actually spoken what I wanted to say, but I have one addition to the proverbs. Two rams cannot drink from one bucket. If you look at it from an African context, it means that in a house we cannot have two men in the house. So this I think our ancestors actually were always telling us this is actually going to happen in the future, where you cannot have two rams in the house. If you have two rams in the house, that house will break, because these two rams will actually lock and fight. So when you look at it from a house setting, an African setting, a man and a woman actually must respect each other, where the woman actually can, if you have two men, like I'll give an example of a wife and a husband. if the wife is always too, giving rules, as in if the hubby says, hey, I want food, and the wife says, hey, you can go pick your food. I'm also a man like you. I'm from work. So that proverb, I think it has a deeper meaning. It has a proverb where, and I think Roger actually really explained it well, where there must be a leader, as in we cannot have two presidents. Even in the same house, we cannot have two voices. One voice must listen to the other. At one point, you must listen to your wife. At one point, your wife must listen to you. So I think this proverb actually has deeper meaning, and I think Roger really mentioned on the leadership bit. But when you look at it from the animal context, animals, like we put two rams, like look at any African homestead, they only have one bull and probably one ram, because when you have two rams, they'll keep on fighting. So it shows that even in society, we must pick a leader. We must pick someone who can actually speak on our behalf. Like if all of us we speak at the same time, we'll actually end up fighting, and that's what's happening in Africa when all of us are speaking. So I think our ancestors actually were futuristic. They actually knew that we will fight, so they spoke to us in proverbs. And Simon, I haven't been in a daily Proverbs for a while because I was actually on self-care and therapy. But every time I come into your room, I feel like I'm talking to my father. I feel like my dad is talking to me. I feel like my grandfather is talking to me. Because when you look at how my grandfather used to talk to me, he used to talk to me in Proverbs. My dad used to talk to me in Proverbs. And this now shows how this current generation, the digital age generation, must listen to those proverbs, because those proverbs have deeper meaning. And when you listen to them, you can see the current context where we are told that among our communities, we must have a leader. We cannot have two leaders. And when you have two leaders, there'll be a fighting. So I think it's a wake-up call for us to actually go back to our roots and start depicting some of these proverbs, because they have really deeper meaning. And Simon, good to hear from you again. And good evening from Nairobi. It's 4 p.m. right now.
Thank you so much, Philip. I'm grateful. It's always a pleasure also being in your presence, and I appreciate your interpretation. And I want to hear from Noga as well. Noga is, if you all know of Africa Day that happened here on Clubhouse on May 25th, Noga was an engine that fueled the whole thing. So Noga, it's really nice to have you in the space. I would love to hear your thoughts and your interpretation on today's proverb. And also, by the way, if you have any comments to Easy, because we've been having a 30-minute conversation, if you have any words of encouragement to Easy, also feel free. And I want to give you space to talk about your upcoming pop-up as well. Thank you so much. The mic is yours.
Thank you, Simon. And it feels nice to be back in African Father in America. I've been just, putting my head to the paper. I'm working on personal projects, so I would love to, let you guys know what I've been working on. My interpretation of today's proverb actually is kind of nice. I started an organization by the name of New Africa Society, and one of the adinkras that I've associated with this organization is Dwenimen, and this adinkra is actually two ram horns put together, and it means humility and strength. So I think I'm going to diverge a little bit from what the guys mentioned about one leader, because I know if anyone knows me, I'm a very strong advocate for co-leadership, because I believe everyone possesses certain traits and qualities that are very useful, and naturally we have more than one leader in a society. But with the qualities of Dwenimen, it's humility and strength. So when you see the proverb, to me, when two rams are looking, to drink water, water is essential. Both rams need the water, but both rams know that they can't both drink the water at the same time. So the way I see it is, if you know you are strong and powerful, and you are also next to someone else who is strong and powerful, and you both need to drink, sometimes relinquish the first turn, and you pray that the other ram will not drink all the resources, but but also have humility and strength to understand and appreciate the fact that you relinquished your first turn and leave you some to drink after, and vice versa. So to me, the proverb is a signifier of, even if you realize that you're a strong ram and you have strength and you have these big ram horns, you also have to harbor humility in knowing that, you're not the only one who's occupying a space, and that other strong people need resources too. And to Izzy, I was really loving hearing you speak about your journey as an artist, because I have kind of gone through those same trials and tribulations growing up in America. And when you come here, your family just their vision for you is to become one of three things, and I don't know what it was, but all my life I never saw myself fitting into those categories. So I always did the complete opposite, and I was an artist, and I was, I always delved into these different mediums, and I found, I'm 25, and I know I can thoroughly say I have, up till now, I've lived a pretty satisfying life, filled with, experiences, good and bad, but mainly art that has been able to get me through. So listening to, you speak on just pushing through as an artist and really staking your claim and, showing and paving the way of a different way of it being done is very heartwarming. One of the ways that I'm paving the way for my family is because I'm one of the eldest of our cousins, siblings, all of that. So there's one older than me in my generation, and she went the traditional route. So I took it upon myself to say, hey, I got to show all my younger cousins and siblings that there's another way. So I went into business and, arts as well. And recently I've kind of been working on, and this was after Africa Day, I kind of started curating this project to bring back to my home city. At the time, I was living in Charlotte, and I'm back in Milwaukee. But I'll be opening up a gift shop that highlights Black and Brown handcrafters in the city. The name of it is Aquaba Gifts, and it's kind of an ode to my heritage. We'll be using the space to educate on West African history, West African culture, bringing our proverbs into the mix. And it's also a next step for my organization, New Africa Society, in our journey to connecting the economic resources between African America and Africa. So yeah, that's my piece for today. Thank you for inviting me on stage. And my name is Noga, and I'm complete.
Thank you so much, Noga. This is Simon speaking. I appreciate, your words of wisdom. And I want to welcome everyone who have joined us for the Daily African Proverbs. Brother David, Jay, Jaber, Terry, M. Dayton, Walter, my brother, and Jay Lee, and of course Roger. And now I want us to quickly go to my brother Joseph Kafunda. Joseph, is also an amazing contributor to the Daily African Proverbs. Joseph, we need to follow up on us having you on YouTube as a guest, because we need to go deeper into your story and just learn a little more the way we did with Easy MB. So hit me up so that we can do that. But if you're meeting Joseph for the first time, he's a travel and tourist guide in Southern Africa. And his primary aim is to obtain an entry-level position that will allow him to complement his theoretical exposure with practical experience in capturing African untold stories. We need to connect about that too, bro. Yeah, we need to connect about that, because that's very in alignment with what Philip and I are doing, and really in alignment with everything I do with the Daily African Proverbs, with One Vibe Films. I don't know if you know, but Walter knows this. In this room, Walter is the only one that we've worked with physically We have a film crew in Kisumu, Kenya that can produce anything when it comes to film and content anywhere in the continent. So just reading what your intentions are is exciting for me. So let's connect. Namibia is not too far from Kenya. So go ahead and share with us your interpretation of today's proverb. If you haven't learned what the proverb is, it says 2 rams cannot drink from the same bucket at the same time. And this is a Nigerian proverb. Thank you so much. And we are still here with Easy MB, who is my special guest. Once we hear from Networker, Easy MB is going to close us out with his closing remarks. Thank you so much. Joseph, the mic is yours.
Thank you, Simon. It's always a blessing, and to hear all these proverbs and how Africans do interpret the proverbs. Like Simon said, I'm Joseph Kafunda. I'm living in Namibia, Southern Africa, one of the most exciting and most youngest beautiful countries that our generation of today have inherited since independence. To be honest, Simon, the proverbs speak louder, speak how family are brought up. Let me take the background of being an African, being raised by both mothers and father. It's that today Proverbs is speaking about how you grow up in your house. How do you respect your parents and your mother, because you always have one leader. So even your mother and your father, they cannot be able to drink in one cup. Your mother always respect your father also respect your mother as well. So us as children, we had to learn from that. So we had to look at that and say, there's only one soldier in the house. There's one captain in the house. There's only one leader in this house. So 2 rams cannot be able to share same pot to drink milk or to drink water. That is definitely how it's speaking about today. So we have to look at this knowledge and this powerful message, but in the same time looking at how can we be able to preserve and educate others about this kind of proverbs. To be honest, when I read about it on Twitter, because I'm following you as well on Twitter, I was looking at myself and wondering, do we really have to change African proverbs and narrate them differently, or should we be able to keep them the same way they are? Because they are educative, they enrich our mind. And that enrichment is what makes Africa become a strong continent today. If we lose our proverbs, that means we lose our value. And losing our value, that means we lose our culture. And losing our culture means that we become useless. Are we ready for that? Because we talk about initiative, but we talk about creativity. But how often are we looking at these proverbs as a way of initiative, or initiate something, or become innovative of something? And when we innovate that, we become differently. So I believe these proverbs, or today's proverb, it's completely just telling us how we've been raised, how our homegrown, how did our roots started. It's not only about Africa, but I can say worldwide. We had the Roman, we had the Greek, they had the leader. So the leader couldn't drink or couldn't share the meal with everybody. So 2 rams, how can they be able to share one pot? So a question is, it's larger than what we can be able to think. Or this proverb, it speak more than it could speak for itself. So Simon, it's always a blessing to be sharing this powerful and wisdom together with you. And I'm done speaking. My name is Joseph Kafunda.
Thank you so much, Joseph. This is Simon. I'm grateful as well for your contribution and also for your words of wisdom, that this knowledge and this idea that 2 rams cannot drink from the same bucket, it's something that is in many cultures and not only African culture. One of the things that I value about the Daily African Proverbs is our intention is, at the end of every room, the hope is that you've learned something. You've learned how to apply this proverb in your own life. You've learned how to discover 2 rams in your own life and figure out where to place each one of them, because the rams literally don't mean everything people are saying. But when you're alone by yourself and you have time to breathe and think, that's when you can apply this into your situation. Because Proverbs come in handy. Sometimes even when I'm having a heated conversation or negotiation with my little daughters, only one proverb allows us to completely change the conversation and come to an agreement. And so I encourage you really to do what Brother Joseph Kafunda was mentioning. Now I want to invite someone that I really adore and have so much love and respect for, Cornelia, who is an amazing leader. She produces amazing events here on Clubhouse and was also very pivotal in helping us produce Africa Day 2021. By the way, mark your calendars for Africa Day 2022. We're going to do it again for 24 hours here on Clubhouse. So just mark your calendar. Look for when May 25th is going to be in 2022, and also connect with me and Noga and Philip if you're interested, and also Networker if you're interested. David is also in the audience. Let any one of us know that you're interested in being a part of Africa Day 2022. Networker, the mic is yours.
Good morning, Simon. Good morning, everybody on another time zone. It is afternoon here. Brother Simon, you can't even ask me this question. Are you interested or are you going to be part of it? I'm like, it is so, yeah. You know what I mean? I'm in on it anyway. So you're not even going to try to get rid of me for that Africa Day, because it has been an amazing day that we put together. What a day. We still talk about this day all the time when we have our different rooms. Going back to your proverb today, I have to go back to the year 1990. And a lot of people, just 1 minute, please. Sorry. Yeah, a lot of people look at 1990 when South Africa was the end of apartheid years, and they always just remember Nelson Mandela and what Nelson Mandela has done. But many people around the world don't realize that we had two very big leaders sitting at the table, and that was F.W. de Klerk and Nelson Mandela. And when you read this proverb of today, these two strong leaders realize that the proverb like this, both of them cannot sit at this table and continue the effect that they have on the lives of South Africans. And the one decided to step away, not to lose any more lives. So if both of them continue to sit at this table and say, no, I'm going to do it my way, and I'm going to do it my way, South Africa would have been a total different place, or I would not even be here today, because that is where we were at the brink of a civil war at a time. And when I heard this, it just gave me so many flashbacks of Nelson Mandela and F.W. de Klerk. You know, sometimes as leaders, you have to sit down and realize, hey, guys, we are leaders. We have to step back and let the other person who do it better than I do for my people go ahead and do it. And if we can, as leaders, I like to use the word because it's so strong in this proverb as well. If we can crack the code as well to also step back sometimes as leaders, because I know that the other one can do it better than I do, then it is so important to lead our communities, to lead our people, and to save lives. What a strong proverb, Simon, and thank you so much for sharing this proverb with us. And with this, I want to leave you. Hear your counterpart, hear the person who's next to you, hear the other leader, so that we can all shine for our people at the end of the day. Thank you for having me, and I'm Cornelia, and I'm complete.
Wow, Cornelia, thank you very much. Your voice and your powerful words will will stay with us for a long time. And the story of Mandela and de Klerk, I want to talk to you more about that sometime. So really, I would love to host you as a guest here for the Daily African Proverbs. On Thursdays, I typically host people from South Africa, by the way. So this Thursday, I might be hosting a spiritual leader from South Africa, along with Jane Aidu, whom I've hosted before. So maybe next Thursday I could host you. Think about that. Now I want to actually welcome our guest for tomorrow. His name is Prince. He's one of the creators of One Africa Forum, and he'll be joining us live on YouTube and also here on Clubhouse. Now, Prince, I just want you to say hello and then share with us just tweet size in 1 or 2 minutes at the most what your interpretation of today's proverb is. The proverb is from Nigeria, and it says, two rams cannot drink from the same bucket as at the same time. By the way, if you want to join us for tomorrow's conversation with Prince, you should go to the club. By the way, follow the Daily African Proverbs Club and so the African Father in America Club, just on top of this room where we are. And that way you'll be able to see tomorrow's event. It's already lined up. And then push the bell button. That way you can be notified when the room starts tomorrow. Okay, the mic is yours now, Prince.
Thank you very much, Simon. Thank you so much. That was such a generous introduction. I must say thank you. And hello to everyone in the room and all those on stage. Thank you very much. And hi, Net Cornelia. I meet you here again. Thank you so much. I think I followed you and Simon in here. That's correct. So thank you. Cornelia has been such a huge influence, in my journey here on Clubhouse. Thank you so much. Quickly, I don't know which one I should begin with, the proverb or what I do. But I think more of what I do, we'll discuss it tomorrow. And I just want to encourage everyone to be a part of the conversation tomorrow. I'd like you to be engaging as well. So basically, my name is Prince from One African Forum. I help young people, young entrepreneurs, small and medium scale businesses transform their ideas into real action. And I lead a community of young people in Africa and in diaspora as well, who are contributing their earnest quota to the development on the continent here. And that's basically what I do. And as One African Forum, we have actually, as a leader of the organization, we have launched a mission to educate 30 million Africans by the end of this decade. We have started that already, and also trained 17 million leaders by the end of this decade as well. And this is basically, and many more things that we do. Just don't want to take the space and just make it about what we do as an organization. You check our website or just back channel me and we'll get to talk about it. And also tomorrow I'll also have time to mention what we'll be doing on the Global Men's Conference, where we'll be addressing issues on suicide and depression and mental health issues and all these social issues and vices that do affect men, that actually ranks men 80%, of victims in all this as well. So 800,000 men die yearly. 800,000 people actually die yearly due to suicide. Every 40 seconds, one person dies due to suicide. And all these statistics, men rank 80% in all this, and we really need to address and take care of our brothers as well, And on the Proverbs, two rams cannot drink in a bucket at the same time. Well, that's pretty deep, even though it's from Nigeria. That's pretty deep. I think, it's just very similar to one of the verses in the Bible, and which says two cannot work together except they agree. So, and that's actually what I think about it. We cannot have two people from two separate, from two opposing views, coming together without having to reach a common ground, and this also goes deep to talk about collaboration. I know, Simon, you have been really emphasizing on collaboration lately. So it's actually does talk about that as well. Two rams cannot drink together from a bucket at the same time. So that is it. We need to come to a common ground. We need to come to an agreement before we can both, reach deep down into that stream or into that bucket and sip from the water. And I think that's my interpretation of the whole of the proverb. It's very important that we have a common ground, we have an understanding of what we're doing, and then we can work together. We can work together and we can walk far, right? And also we will be able to achieve more, reaching an understanding. So can two work together except they agree? I think that is the Nigerian translation of that verse. Thank you very much, Simon, for the opportunity.
You're most welcome. Thank you so much, Prince. And I'm very proud of you for the work that you're doing with One Africa Forum. I can't wait to learn more tomorrow. So if you're in the room, remember to join us at 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time tomorrow so that you can learn more about, Prince's relationship with African Proverbs, learn about his story, and then learn about his work with One Africa Forum and also what he's doing in regards to mental health, especially for men. This is all great. Now we want to hear the closing remarks from my brother Easy, who has been quietly listening, here on YouTube and also on Clubhouse. Really thank you to everyone who has been watching this conversation on YouTube for the last hour. It means a lot. Remember to leave your comment, leave us with your comment so that I know what your thoughts are in relation to today's proverb from Nigeria. The proverb says, 2 rams cannot drink from the same bucket at the same time. Make sure you leave your comment if you're watching this on YouTube. And also I want to come back to everyone on Clubhouse and really appreciate you all for taking your time. There are those of us who are unable to join us on stage. So I just want to give each person a quick shout out here. Jihad, MK, Teresa, I see Dr. Moby the Explorer. Thank you for being here. I see Sarah and brother Mamzi. Thank you so much for being here. Maximilian, thank you so much for being here. That's Olandre. And then Stephanie and Latanja, my brother David, Jay, Jaber, thank you, and Walter, and Jelly, and Roger, of course, my brother Joseph, and we just heard from Prince, and Cornelia, and Digital, and now Easy is closing us out. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Simon. This has been a great conversation. Thank you for you, first of all, again, for giving me the opportunity just to be here and have this conversation with you and with everyone else and share my story. Thank you for everyone who has contributed to the proverb and to today's conversation and everyone else who has also contributed just by being there and listening and being a part of this conversation. I think how I would like to end this is by encouraging and challenging all of us at the same time. By saying the world is going through a very challenging time right now. But even with the challenges that the world is currently facing, I feel like there's still a lot of good and a lot of beauty and a lot of glow and a lot of opportunities in the challenges. One of the things that really inspires me is challenges and is problems. When I'm literally in a problem that I cannot solve, it really inspires me to look for a solution. Most of the time, I solve things through art. I would like to challenge all of us to find the thing that you are happy, the thing that you are passionate, the thing that makes you look forward to waking up in the morning and doing, and see how you can use that thing to solve the current problems that you have, or to find a solution to the next person who just sorted you out and they're like, I need a solution for this. Because everything that we face or we are facing in this world, the solutions are just right there with us. More often than not, in the thing that you love doing the most. Yeah. So thank you so much, and have a lovely week, everybody.
Thank you so much, Easy B. This was a beautiful way for us to get our week started. Please join us tomorrow, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time here on Clubhouse and also on YouTube. My YouTube channel is Simon Javan Okelo. Please also join us on Twitter at, I think it's now in 20 minutes, at 7:30 a.m. PST. That's 5:30 p.m. East African Time. Digital Humanitarian is a known person in the Twitter Spaces world. So, he's been encouraging me to do the recap for the Daily African Proverbs there. So we are doing it for the first time over there. So I encourage you to follow us there, in the next 20 minutes so that we can continue spreading this, message of African wisdom. And then I want to also, invite you to follow the African Father in America Club so that when we open the room tomorrow and we are hosting Prince as our guest, you'll be one of the first people to be notified. I'm truly, truly grateful for the time that you all created. And thank you again, Easy MB. The audio for this conversation is going to be available on all podcasting platforms in the next hour. So if you missed any part, you can catch it there. And the video is available on YouTube right at the moment when this conversation ends. So thank you all so much and take good care of yourselves. Peace and love.
African Father in America. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. African Father in America. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. You are listening to African Father in America podcast by Simon Javan Okelo, live from Seattle, Washington, USA.